We just have maybe, we don't have it here. The one chart I wanted. That really breaks down. When we talk about vitamin E in the human body, we're talking about two specific forms. We're talking about tocopherols and we're talking about tocotrienols.
Okay.
Tocopherols are in 4 different isomers: alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Tocotrienols are also available in alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. Tocotrienols are multiple times more potent than tocopherols. In fact, when it comes to tocopherols, the typical tocopherol is alpha tocopherol, but there's also gamma tocopherol that's also protective. So this is a vitamin E product that is giving you all 4 of the tocopherols, and all 4, even more importantly, targeting the tocotrienol. So we've called the product our Complete Tocotrienols, but it also comes with Complete Tocopherols as well. So if you're someone who your doctors recommended that you take additional vitamin E, this is the most sophisticated and specialized vitamin E. We lowered the price just for this airing.
We don't have the chart. We're going to find the chart.
So it's a special price for this airing. This is normally an extremely expensive product, but we lowered the price for this airing. So again, vitamin E is more than just taking the synthetic alpha tocopherol that is in 99% of the multivitamins that you see on the market. It's D-alpha. The minute you see D-L-alpha tocopherol, that means it contains 2 different stereoisomers, the dextro and the levo form. And that's just the artifact of how it moves light. Stereoisomers, if it moves it to the right, it's the dextro form, L is to the left, levo. So as I explained yesterday when I talked about stereoisomers, our biochemical molecular world in our body is 3 dimensions, just as we're in 3 dimensions. If I took a glove from my right hand, even though my right hand is identical to my left hand, if I tried to put that glove onto my left hand, it's not going on. No matter how hard I try, it's not going on. The same thing happens in the molecular world of our body. There are right-handed and left-handed molecules. And depending upon the process, the biochemical environment we're speaking about, you need to specifically target the right molecule. So DL-alpha tocopherol, that's synthetic vitamin E, and part of that product, part of that molecule is absolutely inactive. So you want to make sure you're getting natural form of vitamin E, and you want to make sure you're getting both the tocotrienols and both the tocopherols, and that's exactly what we do here. There's a handful of other products on the market that do this as well, and that's the only way to appropriately deliver the benefits, the full benefits of vitamin E, and when you do so, the benefits are powerful.
And we invite you, even though we're kind of showcasing a lot of wonderful things tonight, if you go online at hsn.com, you can read the reviews of all of Andrew's products. Andrew's line, his brand here on HSN is #1 most beloved, most reviewed, most well received, lowest return rate. I mean, the line of accomplishments over the years is really remarkable, and that's because of you giving us the feedback so you know exactly what's good and what's not great. And Andrew loves to hear all the feedback, whether it's good or bad.
No, I mean, that's what I'm most proud of. Now, I'm not necessarily proud of the fact that we might be the largest business at HSN. What I'm proud of the fact is that we are the most reordered products, we are the best reviewed products, we are the most reviewed products, and that goes to the quality of our products. So, and always the reviews, what's wonderful about the reviews, I certainly can talk and speak about my products and try to explain what makes them unique. But your reviews, your experiences, and those experiences are so diverse, that's really what breathes life into every one of my products. And every single one of my products is a customer pick.
Yes.
Over the years, we've had a couple that weren't. But why would I continue making a product that wasn't well reviewed? We would go back to the drawing board. My meal replacement. My real meal replacement is a customer pick with thousands and thousands of reviews. When I introduced it, it was averaging about 2.5 stars. Technically, it was a wonderful meal replacement. It just tasted horrible. So we had to go back to the drawing board. So we don't always make perfect products, but in the end, because we listen to you, we ultimately arrive at a perfect product.
And anything that you see here is done to be, I mean, truly the mission to be the greatest, the best, and also the most environmentally friendly with the most, I suppose, just the right attitude, Andrew. You do things well.
If you look at our facility, more than a decade ago, we took out all conventional light bulbs and we put in all LEDs in our facility because they don't generate heat, the LEDs, and because they use far less power. We've been operating entirely on solar power before it became fashionable. We've been doing that for over 20 years. So for about 20 years, we've had no carbon footprint. So this is, there we go. So this is the chart I was looking for. Well, I'll put it to my right here.
The mystery chart, we found it.
So that's the chart that shows the contents of the product. A typical product, you're getting synthetic alpha tocopherol in a typical product.
Okay.
Typical vitamin E, you're only going to get 20 or 30 milligrams in a typical synthetic vitamin E in a multivitamin. But what you're looking at here is you're looking at 210 or 420 total milligrams. That's far more vitamin E activity. And you're looking at mostly Gamma Tocotrienol and Gamma Tocopherol. So it's a product that delivers far more. I mean, most people don't even realize that vitamin E is more than just synthetic alpha tocopherol.
Right.
When you're looking at this product, you're getting Gamma Tocotrienol, Alpha Tocotrienol, Delta and Beta Tocotrienol. So it really is entirely unique. So if your doctor has recommended that you take vitamin E for whatever reason, and a lot of women, that's a specific recommendation, men as well, then this is the only way to really target vitamin E. It sort of is vitamin E, for lack of a better expression, on steroids. It's vitamin E, and it only comes, there are only a few different sources of vitamin E that delivers a rich source of tocotrienols. And tocotrienols are multiple times more protective than tocopherols. They just happen to be multiple times more expensive. So you'll never see them because of the space they take and their cost. You won't typically see them in a multivitamin, and you rarely even get to see them in a sophisticated vitamin E product, except one like mine.
Vitamin B12, the tocotrienols, and of course the vitamin C. We encourage you to grab yours while you can.
So that's just because we never really talk about
No.
the separates, and I'm often asked if we make separates, and we do. And in the future, we really haven't filled out our product line. Most companies that have been around for 40 years have a couple of thousand products.
Yeah.
We basically have several dozen, that's it, key products, and that's all. So we're going to try to fill out so you don't have to get some of those separate products from other companies. I've heard you complain about that, and I respond. It takes me a little while, but I respond. And it bothers me until I do. So are we going to go here, or are we...
We're doing
cookbooks.
cookbooks.
Is Muriel ready yet? Is Muriel coming?
Oh, fabulous. Cookbook Corner. And if you are just joining